PwC Careers. If you drop that on the street in LA or New York, you might have a chance that somebody would hear it. PwC at large is a huge brand name, and with a few 100,000 employees, you would kind of expect for it to be a big brand name. But PwC as a career means one of three things: PwC Tax, PwC Audit, or PwC Consulting. And today at Management Consulted, we're going to focus on the consulting aspect of it. I'm Jenny Ray LaRue, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and as an ex-Bain consultant, I have to admit I'm a little biased toward boutiques and firms that have a smaller, more collegial feel. But today I'm going to go over three things about PwC that I think are important to know. Number one, what does a week or a day or a project in your life at PwC look like? Second, I would really like to focus on what the great things are about working at a place like PwC. And finally, I'm going to talk about maybe some of the reasons why you wouldn't want to work at PwC or a place like it. Having a career there can be an advantage, but isn't always, and it's important to know that as well, so you go in with eyes wide open. In addition, if you've worked at PwC, we really want comments and engagement on this video where you tell us what was great about it, what was terrible about it, what you would fix, or things that we got wrong, because if we did, we want to make sure everybody sets the record straight. So please give us commentary and insights from your personal experiences at PwC. So back to the list, there are a couple things that we're going to go through. First of all, what does a day, a week, a life in the world of a PwC career look like? Well, first of all, for PwC, you are in general traveling to the client site. So there isn't a lot of remote in-office work with your team. You're usually traveling, usually Monday through Thursday, and sometimes Monday through Friday, depending on the level and the practice area inside PwC Consulting, and then the target of what you're focused on. So if you have a clean room at the client where all the data has to be kept there, of course, you're going to be on client site. So in general, Monday through Thursday travel, sometimes Monday through Friday. You're going to rack up a lot of hotel points and a lot of airline points. PwC, however, does have a very large network, so you do fly less than you do at some of the other firms because you're generally closer to the clients that you're serving. In addition, you work with a team, and interestingly, because the offices are quite large and also there's a lot of them, your team is going to become your family at PwC, not as much your office. So a lot of people freak out when they think about where they're going to work at a place like PwC, and honestly, find a team and a group of people that you're really passionate about in the practice area that you're focused on. That's going to determine more of your experience in a PwC career than anything else. In addition, you generally will work on projects for a long time. One of PwC's main beautiful goals, coming from its advisory and audit and tax backgrounds, is that they really focus on long-term relationships with clients, 1 year, 5-year projects that are multiple renewals, and your focus is going to be on delivering on those for 1 to 2 years. Now, on to what's great about working at PwC. Number one, the size and scale of the firm is almost unparalleled. There are very few firms that compete with it in size. And because of that, you have access to the brand of the whole firm. You've got lots and lots of people that work for PwC that were smart and intelligent and well-trained and did a great job and are well-renowned in their fields, even if it's not yours. So they're great in tax, and their kind of brand aura is cast upon you. So you have the benefit of this well-established, trustworthy brand name. Second, you have the network of a global organization. So once you've worked at PwC, you have access to everyone who's ever worked there. Hopefully they've loved it, and that makes it really easy to reach out to them and make your own future when you're thinking about building work with them. The third thing that's incredibly important at PwC that really, really marks a great experience there is incredible training. They focus so much from the beginning of your interview process through the onboarding process, through the mentoring process, through even the exit process. They're thoughtful, calculated, data-driven in the way that they train and mentor people. And while sometimes you can feel like you're going through a system and working through the wheels, they do a great job of personalizing that through one-on-one mentorship and through your teams. So you have both the benefits of this very rigorous, very well-honed process and the personal touch. Now, what are some reasons why you might not want to work at PwC? PwC Careers can be grueling. If you work at the same client for a year or 2 years and it is a terrible client with people that you don't enjoy and a manager that's not fun, that's a really, really long time to get a good brand on your resume. So PwC is known for keeping people on projects for a longer period of time. So you really have to be ready to fight for what you want when you're inside the organization and set an early precedent of excellent work so that you get a lot more leeway the longer and later that you stay in your PwC career. In addition, PwC, as a large global firm, doesn't focus as much on culture. They really rely on the small culture of the teams. And like I mentioned already, that's really subject to the people that are on your team. So without having a one global culture, without having a culture that's really focused on doing something, they end up naturally focusing on being a culture that doesn't do things. They don't discriminate. They don't X. They don't Y. And so rather than having a really clear personality or brand identity, they are working on not becoming certain negative things, which is really different than casting a positive light. And finally, I would say that at PwC, your work is very siloed. So whereas for someone who worked at Bain, like myself, we would have had multiple different projects across multiple different industries, across multiple different practice areas, across even different kinds of business problems, you're gonna have a lot more focus when you're at PwC. And the benefit of that is that you become an expert faster. The con is that sometimes you don't know if you want to be an expert in something, and then you become an expert in it, you don't want to be an expert in that, and pivoting out of it is much more difficult. Hopefully you've enjoyed this conversation about PwC Careers, and if you have something to add to it, please join us in the comments. In addition, you can check out more content on PwC, getting interviews, and being great at the job at PwC at our website at managementconsulted.com.